Hello and welcome to my first ever pack opening. I'm going to be opening some Zendikar Rising Collector Boosters. Um, I've just picked these up from my LGS Gathering Point games, and let's see how it goes, I guess. Um, Never opened any Collector's Boosters before, so we will struggle getting into the pack, obviously, because we've never done it before. Um, so, I'm not an expert on what these have. So, what have we got in here? So we have two expedition box toppers. So I'm going to leave these up at the top, and we're going to open them at the end. So if you care for them, go right to the end. Skip the rest of this. It's probably trash anyway, but we'll find out how it is. Right. So let's put these over here. So, how many do we have? First of all, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 boosters. Excite. 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 So, this is kind of inspired a little bit from Aaron from Game Grumps. He has a channel called Shuffle Master. You should totally check him out. I find him hilariously funny, but that is me. Obviously, we see here we have an insect token, which yeah, well, right, let's get cracking. So we have a Cliff Haven Sellsword, something from the new one, pretty good warrior. Some more warriors, Teeter Pig Ambusher. We have a Blood Beckling, which is pretty much just a raised dead. A Feed the Swarm, some premium black removal. Does have the added ability to get rid of enchantments, which is something new. Rabid Bite, everyone loves a face punch. Lithoform Blight, into some uncommons, I guess. Thundering Rebuke, basically just the Lava Coil by the looks of things, except slightly. You have the trade-off of not exiling for getting a Planeswalker or whatever. So we have a Foil Swamp, thankfully by a reputable artist. Cool. So we have a full art Hagra Mauling. Let me bring this up to the screen and see if I can get it to focus a little bit better. There we go. So this is 4 mana, but costs 3 if your opponent has no basic lands, just a straight up murder. And then on the other side we have a Hagra Brood Pit, which is just a come into play tap land and makes black. So that's that. Next up we have a foil Inscription of Abundance. This is probably the best of the inscriptions in my opinion. It's just a simple 2 mana instant which has either make something larger by 2 or target player gains 2 where X life, where X is the greatest power, or target creature fights something. You can do all the abilities for an extra 3 mana, so 5 mana, do 3 things. It seems pretty good. So that's that. Alternate art card. We have a Spitfire Lagak, it's a Screaming Lizard, which you'll find in most Magic sets. There is a Screaming Lizard in most sets. This simple landfall, which is obviously one of the key mechanics of Zendikar Rising, and also original Zendikar. Next we have another alternate art card, which is a Skyclave Squid. Seems okay. Seems more of a limited card, but then again, I'm not great at limited, so defer to the people who know more about that. Here we go. Bright Climb Pathway. So this is the Orzhov land, which obviously it is full art, extended art. I'm not really sure what they're called, but yeah. So coming into play untapped and makes a white, or you can do it on the other side for a black. So I'm going to try and not show the next card. Grime Climb Pathway is the other side. Excite. Got a twofer. So this is just a foil Spitfire Lagak. Valakut Exploration. So this is a pretty good card that we've seen about. So this is the alternate art foil, which seems pretty good. just landfall, exile the top card, and as long as I can play that card, as long as it remains exiled. So every landfall is basically draw a card. So yeah, and at the beginning of the step, if there are cards exiled with it, put them into your graveyard and deal that much damage to each opponent. So pretty good. Then we have a Core Warrior. So this is the last one, Core Warrior, and as we showed you before, an Insect. So that is my first pack opening. So usually what I do is I will put my rares together, which here we have 4. And then token I don't care about. Land I'll probably keep somewhere else. And then just put these all together to be sorted sometime else. Right, so let's put these over in the... let's just put them off screen. Okay. Seems like a pretty good pack, pack 1. I have no idea, but we will see how the rest goes. So we have a Cascade Seer. Seems alright. Uses the new party mechanic in Zendikar Rising, which rewards you for having more creatures in play, so Cleric, Rogue, Warrior and Wizard. Otherwise it's just a Grey Ogre. Blood Price. You see different versions of these. I think the last one that we saw was Dark Bargain. Highborn Vampire, nothing too exciting. Dauntless Unity, just okay pump spell. Strength of Solidarity, that seems alright. Cinderclasm, this seems really good. At least it's a different pyroclasm that you can play. Obviously it costs more, but you get the option, which is good. Fastwood Fortification, another one of these flip lands. So we had Fastwood Thicket, just come into play, tap lands and makes a green, or for a green you can put a +1/+1 card on a creature. So next one, Foil Island. Ooh, so this is not foil. My lighting is fairly bad, and I don't want to put my other light on because otherwise it'll be too shiny. So Confounding Conundrum, one of the new cards, which kind of stops the multiple lands in the battlefield, makes your opponent have to pick lands up, draws a card, and seems fairly good. Obviously extended art, which is pretty nice. A foil Maul of the Skyclaves. These equipments seem pretty good this cycle, being just able to attach, and then it costs more to equip it onto something else. So you kind of get rewarded for the first time that you do it, and then the second time, you have sort of a tax as such to pay. Alternate art, Territorial Scythecat. Seems fairly aggressive in the art, let's be honest. If we have a quicker look, very, very aggressive. Right. Fearless Sledging, completely different art to the other art of Fearless Sledging, which kind of looks really dorky, and I would imagine would be played by Jim Carrey in some sort of film. So this is not foil. Ooh, now this is an exciting one. Omnath, Locus of Creation. Everyone's calling for a ban, and we've got the alt art one, just a regular foil. For anyone who doesn't know what it does, pretty much everything. So he is red, green, white, blue. When he comes into play, draw a card, and landfall. So the first time a land enters the battlefield, you can gain 4 life. The second time, in that turn, it makes red, green, white, blue. And if it's the third time, it deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control, and it's also a 4/4. But given that it's all so many colours, there are cards that you can use against it. Obviously, Mystical Dispute counters it for only 1 blue. Red Cap Melee kills it for only 1 red. So there's ways to kill it, but it is very, very powerful. And classic Wizards for making something too good. Okay, a foil Territorial Scythecat. So that is twice in 2 packs now that we've got the regular art and then a foil alternate art. Sky Clear Apparition. This seems pretty good in spirits, I'm not gonna lie. So it's a 1 white white 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-token permanent with converted mana cost 4 or less. When it leaves the battlefield, you make an XX where X is that mana cost. Blue illusion, doesn't it fly? But this is nice because this is a foil extended art, so that is pretty sweet. And then at the ends we have Core Warrior or a copy. So let's get rid of the things we probably don't care as much about. Rare, mythic, rare, rare, rare. Very excite. Very excite. 2 down, 10 to go. No idea how long this is going to be, but I think it's probably going to be looking around probably the hour mark. So let's see how it goes. Farsight Adept. Seems pretty. It's undercosted as a 3 mana 3/3, but downside your opponent gets to draw a card, but upside you get to draw a card, so that's pretty good. Tormenting Voice. Obviously it's a reprint. Everyone's seen this different art. Kazandu Nectapod. Seems pretty mediocre, to be honest. Nahiri's Binding, great limited pseudo removal. Nissa's Zendikar, some good reach for green. Obviously, it also has reach, but it's pretty good as a hasty threat. Emiria Captain, start of our own commons. Seems pretty good. Obviously, great in a party deck. Zoth's Consumption. Expensive as a 6 mana for drain 4, but you can flip it and make a land. So option always good, but overcost on the front side, I'd say. Plains, fairly nothing exciting. Linvala, Shield of Seagate. This seems pretty good in any sort of weenie build. Obviously, being able to give your creatures indestructible, but there's no real wrath in this format at the moment, at least in standard. So it seems okay as a 3 mana 3/3 with flying and upside. So Akiri Fearless Voyager. 3 mana 3/3 again, seems fairly aggressively costed. Whenever you attack a player with one or more equipped creatures, draw a card, seems pretty good. And white, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible. Really good. Makindi Ox, alternate art. It's pretty. I really enjoy the art on these cards. Completely being something different to any of the alternate arts that they've done before. I love the vibrant colours. This one particularly, there isn't a lot of vibrant colours, but if we get a Lotus Cobra, we'll be able to see that. So fingers crossed for one of them. Another Skyclave Squid. Needle Verge Pathway. So this is the Boros one. So makes a red, makes a white, comes in untapped, and yeah. So let me see if I can flip it and not show the card beneath. Pillar Verge Pathway. So similar to the Orzhov one that we had before. What was that called? Bright Climb Pathway. Okay, so foil Skyclave Squid alternate art. So continuing the trend of getting a regular art and then a foil one. Nimble Trapfinder. I'm gonna have to read this one. I definitely haven't read this one. So 2 mana 2/1 rogue, and also human, I guess. It can be blocked if you have another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain combat damage to a player. Draw a card. That seems pretty good. Doesn't seem. It's rewarding, obviously, for having a wider party, but you know, it's it's fairly difficult, at least in most formats, to have a full party. So probably jank, let's be honest. But it is fairly nice as a full art, extended art foil. So, and then a cat beast or a hydra. So this probably will see more play, I would imagine, given Felidar retreat. But yeah. So let's put the ones that we care about into our pile, and then these can all get put in that pile. So, classic magic card, negate. The art looks very similar to the Jace vs Chandra dual decks. Otherwise, everyone knows what negate does. Practiced tactics. White, choose target attacking or blocking creature, deals damage equal to the creature equal to twice the number of creatures in your party. That seems okay. Subtle Strike, a reprint, I think, from one of the Kaladesh box, I think, was the first time I saw it. Royal Eruption. Snow Lightning Strike. Or Volcanic. Is it Volcanic Hammer? Or, yeah, something like that. Stonework Pack Beast is all party members, but only one of them. Otherwise, it's a Prismite. Roiling Regrowth seems pretty good in a landfall deck. Sure-footed Infiltrator, and then I think after this one, land. Yes. So Forest, Forsaken Monument, full art. So I think this card is potentially pretty good. In obviously you need to build around it, but it seems good in sort of like a either a Tron deck or a like a what's the name of the deck in Legacy? 12 post. Obviously it costs 5 mana, so it kind of, you have to have things in play already to be able to get up to it early, but it rewards you after that, so that seems pretty good. Not bad to get a full art mythic. Valakut Exploration, so we saw this before. We've got the alternate art, so this one is still pretty nice as a regular foil. Canyon Jerboa, love this card. For anyone who doesn't know what it does, landfall, all your creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn, and yeah, it's also it's so cute. Look at it, such a cute. Hopefully we'll get a foil one of these, because continue the trend of getting the regular in the foil. Skyclave Geopede, 3/1 for 3 with trample, gets +2/+2 for every landfall. Okay, so this is Phylath, World Sculptor. This is basically a wizard's attempt at trying to fix Avenger of Zendikar. It seems okay, but I think it's more than likely just going to be a commander card. But yeah. Ooh, we have broken the trend. Foil McKindy Ox. Yeah. Okay, so we followed up the full art. Now with the foil full art, Hagra Mauling. And obviously on the other side, Hagra Brood Pit. And what we got? An illusion, plants. Oh look, we got the plant for the Phylath, I think it's called. Cool. Get our rares and mythics out of here. Boom. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm probably going to see if I can try to do one of these per set. I thought I would just start with Zendikar Rising and see how that goes. So let's continue, I guess. Expedition Healer, just a bear that gets lifelink and has vigilance. Drana's Silencer seems okay if you've got a fairly large party. Malakir Blood Priest is okay again if you have a lot of creatures in your party. Otherwise, it's just a 2 mana 2/1 that drains for 1 and you gain 1. Disenchant, classic card. Shepherd of Heroes, gain 2 life for each creature in your party, and also a 5 mana 3/4 flyer. Demon's Disciple. Been plenty of these types of cards that just give them a different name every time. I think the last one we had was Fleshbag Marauder, something like that. Thundering Spark Mage, again, rewards you for having more creatures in your party. And then we get our mountain. How exciting. Okay, what is this card? Shadow's Verdict. So this is our Sword of Wrath, except it exiles rather than destroys, so the Linvala isn't very... It's not helpful here. So it's a 5 mana sorcery, exile all creatures and planeswalkers with CMC 3 or less from the battlefield, and all creature and planeswalker cards with CMC 3 or less from all graveyards. So it seems pretty good. But your opponents have obviously got to be playing something that's relevant for you to be playing this card. Just a regular full art, no foiling here. Regular foil Needle Verge Pathway. So we've gone over this. This was the red-white one, the Boros one, and it's just a regular foil. So yeah. Prowling Felidar. Again, these are really nice colours that the artists have been using on these. Yeah, this one seemed pretty good in limited. 4 mana 2/3 with vigilance, but it grows for every landfall that you have. So, ooh, this is a good one. So not foil, but alternate art Ruin Crab. People have been playing 8 Crab in Modern, so this certainly has a home in there. Whether or not that deck is any good or not, given that Auras in that format, who knows? But yeah. Ooh, baby. So this is what I was talking about, the Lotus Cobra, the really nice arts. I think that that Bastion Grivet has done a fabulous job on this card. It looks amazing. And obviously Lotus Cobra is a busted card. And if anyone knows him, Dr. David Greenwood has a little bit of a he loves this card. That is the only way to put it. There's 2 things that will always be constant with Greenwood, and that it is he loves Lotus Cobra and little artifact people. So a foil Dreadworm, it's okay, nothing exciting. Again, broke the duck of having 2 of the same alternate art cards in the same pack. Throne of Makindi. So I don't even know what this one does. So it's a land that taps for colourless. 1 tap, put a charge counter on it. Remove a charge counter from it. Add 2 mana of any one colour. Spend this mana only to cast kick spells. Okay, so it basically just makes it's to be used for kicker. So it seems okay. It depends if you have a kicker deck, then yeah, that's pretty good. But takes a while to charge it up. But when you do, you get 2 mana. So yeah. And then last card will just be our Angel Warrior, a Goblin Construct. So that seems pretty good. Really happy with the Lotus Cobra there. That was certainly a nice pickup. I am very pleased with that. So yeah, let's just have one more look at it up close. Yeah, it is so beautiful. Alright, so just take a little bit of a drink. I haven't talked this much in ages. So what we got? Core Celebrant. This one seems pretty good in a cleric deck if you as a build around. Inordinate Rage seems okay. Mind Drain. There's the original Makindi Ox. Where did we put that other one? Do we have it to hand? Oh, here we go. Here's the other one. You can see the difference in the colours that are being used here. Like, this is probably not a good example actually, but you can see that obviously they're different. But that's probably just the artist, to be honest. But yeah. Glacial Grasp. It's okay. Good limited card. Marassa Sproutling. Is pretty good, I guess, if you've got kicker. Um, yeah. Skyclave Plunder. I play this quite a bit in limited. It's basically just a draw 3, but sometimes it's kind of it's a pick X where X is 3 plus the number of creatures in your party. So worst case, it's a 5 mana draw 3. Best case scenario, you can look at the top 7 and pick 3 cards that you want to put in your hand. For Mountain, Crag, Plate, Baloth. So what's this? 7 mana 6/6, kicker, 2 and a green. The spell can't be countered, hexproof haste. If it was kicked, enters the battle with 4+1/+1 counters. So it's basically keyword central. Kicker, can't be countered, hexproof, haste, counters. Seems okay. Not foil, but still extended out, which is pretty sweet. Foil Confounding Conundrum, seen that one before. Kazandu Nectapod, obviously seen this one before, but not this art. Ooh, this looks exciting. What is it? Okay, it's not that exciting. I thought it was potentially another Omnath. Bushfire Elemental, 2 and a green, for a 1/1 with haste, but can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and landfall gets +2 until end of turn. Morag, Fury of Akoum. So this isn't foiled, but this is still a sweet alternate art mythic. Now, in case anyone is unaware, you never want to play your lands in your pre-combat main phase, because if you do, you will go to combat, which will be your additional combat before your regular combat. So you'll have your additional combat, get to attack, and then you don't get to untap. But if you go, if you play a land in your second main phase after you've already attacked, you get to untap your creatures and then attack again. And yeah, you can basically, if you can keep going, like if you got an Uro that you can keep on putting lands into play, obviously you could kind of just go forever, especially if your opponent has got a Confounding Conundrum in play. But then, if you're playing Morag and Uro, you're probably playing some very weird deck. Fearless Fledging, foil, so the Jim Carrey card, if it's in the other art. And then Relic Robber, which I'm not going to lie, it's not a great card. We've got the construct before, which is just a can't block. It is a 0/1, and at the beginning of upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. But yeah, still all right. Someone's going to try and build around it. Probably Saffron Olive, but whatever. And then we've got Angel Warrior with a Hydra. So that pack seemed okay. The Morag, I think, is probably Commander players' dream. So let's put these over here. So how many we got left? So we are halfway through. So like I said, I had no idea how long this will last. Probably about an hour. So yeah. Great Warrior card in limited. 4 mana 3/3. Again, Grey Ogre, but it gets +1/+1 for each creature in your party. So Scavenge Blades. Again, I said I really like the design on these the equipments that they have in this set. So yeah. Hagra's Constructor. Nothing exciting. Cliffhaven Kite Sail. Again, another artifact, that equipment that attaches and then costs more to equip afterwards. Akoum Hellhound. Now this is a good one. I see a lot of the mono red players are loving this. I'm pretty sure that Craig Barnes is probably going to want to play a set of these alternate art ones, and if not, I've got a foil one for his cube. I know he likes cards for that. Rockslide Sorcerer. Aaron has said in his other streams that this set basically is just people climbing up rocks. So here's some more rock climbers. Black Bloom Rogue. This is seen a little bit play in Dimir Rogues, mainly because it's a land or a rogue. But nothing too exciting. Just a 3 mana 2/3 with menace, and if your opponent's got 8 or more cards in the graveyard, gets +3/+0. So could be a 5/3. Ooh, very nice island. Obviously, this takes inspiration from the Cup Islands of old Zendikar. which I think a lot of people agree is probably one of the best arts from that set. Legion Angel. This is an interesting design. I like. So, 4 mana, 4/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you own named Legion Angel from outside the game and put it into your hand. So basically, you can go get another one from your sideboard. You play that other one, and then you go get another one from your sideboard. So you can basically have 1 mana, 1 card in your deck that fetches up to 3 creatures from your sideboard, which seems pretty good. Coralhelm Chronicler, 3 mana 2/2. Whenever you cast a kick spell, draw a card, then discard. So it's just a loot when you cast a kick spell. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards. You may reveal a card with kicker from amongst them and put them into your hands. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So if you build a deck around it, it's a 3 mana 2/2 that draws you a card and then loots for the rest of the game. Nothing too exciting. There's that Brushfire Elemental we saw before. There's a Fearless Fledging, which I'm not sure if it's clear or not, but it looks like the letters are smudged a little bit, but yeah, it's still fine. Ooh, Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. So I've actually just picked up another 2 on top of the one I already own that are all like this. So that completes my playset. So very excited about that. Nahiri, kind of one of the main characters of this set. So 2 red/white for 4 loyalty, Planeswalker. Create a 1/1 white core warrior. Let me just focus a little bit. There we go. Create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token. You may attach an equipment you control to it. -2. Look at the top 6 cards. You may reveal a warrior or equipment and put them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. And -3. It deals damage equal to target creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipment you control. Obviously, it's a fairly big build around, but it seems very sweet, and also the art is really, really nice. So there's our friend McKindy Ox. And then last but not least, Shatter Skull Smashings. This is a full art. The full art mythic. So there's a cycle of these that are all mythic, which is it does something on this side. So this one is X red. It deals X damage to fighters you choose, up to 2 target creatures or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, it deals twice X. They've realised that this can't be a fight with fire, which I think it was originally meant to be. But I think the fact that this costs more than it should, even as a mythic, shows restraint from Wizards, which I think is really good. And on the other side, it is a land which has, when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters tapped, and it makes just 1 red. But yeah, I think it looks really nice, and functionally they are really good cards. And then last but not least, we have Cat Beast Insect. So that one's pretty good pack. 2 mythics, extended art and full art. So yeah, that seems pretty good. Chilling Trap. Seems pretty good, especially if you control it. It's a great limited card, I think. When if you control a wizard, you get to draw a card, but otherwise it's a combat trick. So yeah, seems pretty good. Reclaim the Waste, Dave.deck card. It's a green, kicker 3. You may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hands, shuffle your library. If it was kicked, search your library for 2 basic land instead of 1. In case anyone doesn't know, Dave loves a good ramp strategy. Cunning Geyser Mage. I love the flavor text on this. It is so good. Come on, Sketch. We'll lose them in the Geyser field. I just feel like that's the guy who's writing it, and the lizard on is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? for anyone who doesn't know what it does, it's a 3-mana 3/2 kicker and can bounce a creature, another target creature, to its owner's hand. But yeah, I love the premise of this, and especially it's nice to have a foil one. It's such a good meme card, purely for the purely for the flavor text and the art. Skyclave Sentinel, not really exciting, just a 3-mana 2/3 flying defender. If it was kick though, kickers 4, and it's battlefield 2+1/+1 counters, and this can attack as though it didn't have defender if it's got a +1/+1 counter on it. Vanquish the Weak, multiple cards of this been printed in the past, just okay. Journey to Oblivion seems okay. It's essentially a Oblivion ring that costs 1 less for each creature in your party. Then Veteran Adventurer is all party members, but only once at a time. Costs 1 less for each creature in your party, and it has vigilance as a 5/5. Planes, fairly pretty planes actually. Myriad Construct. Now I didn't realise this, but if you target it, you sack it, and you create a number of 1/1 creatures equal to its power. Now I thought it was only if it died, but yeah. Otherwise, it's a 4-mana 4/4 with kicker 3, and it gets +1/+1 on it for each non-basic land your opponents control. So it's weird because it's kind of not great in limited, but it's not great in constructed either. So I don't. It's probably a commander card if I'm being honest, but I wouldn't know. I never play a lot of commander. But Roiling Vortex. Now this is a Goulet. This is a obviously foil. It's a 2-mana. It's basically a minor sulfuric vortex, and has but you have to pay a red mana to make your opponents being unable to gain life this turn. Whenever you cast a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, it deals 5 damage to that player. So obviously it's great against like any of the Moxies. So I assume this will probably see maybe some amount of play in Vintage, but I don't play Vintage, so I wouldn't know. But maybe it does. Dreadworm, nothing exciting. 5-mana 5/4 gets indestructible with landfall. There we go, Spitfire Lagak. Some more screaming lizards. I wonder if this one is called Skitch. Maybe that's what it is. Once it got to the geyser field, it became a Spitfire Lagak. Branch, Loft, Pathway. So this is a Selesnya flip land. We've seen the Boros ones before, and we've seen the Orzhov ones before. Pretty nice artwork. Let's see if I can flip it again for the next cards. Into a Boulderloft Pathway. Very, very nice. Oh, there we go. Brushfire Elemental. Never seen it. Now we've seen 3. Nice foiling though. But yeah. The Crawling Barrens. I really like this card. In the old original Zendikar blocks, they had creature lands, which had ability. So they were Celestial Colonnade, Creeping Tar Pit were the 2 main ones, but there was also Stirring Wildwoods, Lavaclaw Ridges, and what is the other one? Stirring Wildwoods. Oh, Raging Ravine, which is the one that saw probably the most amount of. Sees the second most amount of play in Jund. But I'm not sure if that's been replaced in one, but because no one really plays Jund. But I could be wrong. I could be talking out my ass, but yeah. So this one is a land, taps for colourless, but has the ability of 4, put 2+1/+1 counters on it, and you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature until the end of turn, and it's still a land. What's interesting is this is a MAME, so you can basically use it as a charge land. So you can just, if you and your opponent are both passing and saying go, but you don't want to actually hit them and let them use any removal, you can just make it into a 20/20, and then whenever you feel like the coast is clear, just attack them. So yeah, and then last but not least, Angel Warrior, Goblin Construct. So we have gone through a fair amount, and so far we have not seen a foil expedition. Now, I was told, on good authority from the person I bought these packs off, that there is an 11% chance for you to miss completely. So I'm hoping I'm not in that 11%, but we will find out. Pyroclastic Hellion. Um, Seems okay. You get to trigger landfall and added bonus of um, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Shell Shield, just a worse um, dive down. Dauntless Savior, it's okay if you're playing +1/+1 cards. Dreadworm, seen this one before, but this is just a foil, not exciting art. Expedition Diviner, it's pretty good if you're playing the Wizard deck in Limited. Kitesail Cleric, I like this in like a weenie aggro deck, otherwise it's just a 1/1 cleric that you get to do other cleric things, but you get to tap something down, and also flies, so that's pretty good. BN Veil, like this card, is a land, but also being able to give your opponents -2/-0 is a good removal spell in combat. Combat trick, that's what the name is called. Swamp, very nice. Inscription of Insight, so we've seen the green one. This one is a 4 mana sorcery. Kicker is 4 again. It is bounce up to 2 target creatures up to their owner's hands, or scry 2 and then draw 2. Or target player makes a XX illusion where X the number of cards in their hand. So obviously with these cards, if you do play the kicker, you resolve them in the order that they are written. So you can bounce 2 creatures back to your own hand, scry 2 and then draw 2, and then you make a XX, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So conceivably, you could have this be the last card in your hand, bounce 2 cards back to your hands, scry 2, draw 2, and then you're making a 4/4, which seems pretty good. Archpriest of Iona seems really good in like a White Weenie strategy, if White Weenie becomes good, if Omnath gets the cup, hopefully. But yeah, it's a star 2, where the star is the number of creatures in your party, and at the beginning of combat, if you've got a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 flying until the end of turn, and it's a cleric, so at worst case this is a 1/2. So Dreadworm, seen this, not foil but still alternate out, which is okay. Territorial Scythecat, Branch Loft Pathway, we've seen this one in the last pack, so green and white, and yep, kind of revealed what the next couple of cards are, which kind of ruins that there's no expedition in this pack. Prowling Faladar we've seen, and then Maul of the Skyclaves as a foil extended art equipment, and then got a cat insect. So 3 more packs left to go. I'm kind of getting a little bit concerned. I'm not gonna get any more expeditions on the 2 that I've already got, but it's a risk that you run when you crack these packs. But yeah, let's see. This one's a tough one to get in. Molten Blast, pretty good as a optional card. 3 mana to do 2 to creature or planeswalker. It's overcosted for that, but you also get to destroy target artifact if you wanted to instead. So given that there's a kind of minor sub-theme of artifacts in each colour, that could be potentially a good sideboard card. Nimana Sneak, so rogue, so obviously it keys off 8 cards being in your opponent's graveyard. It gets +1/+0 menace, so it'd be a 4 mana 4/4 with menace, which seems fairly good, but you need a lot of work to get there. Cleansing Wildfire, so I've seen a couple of Jeskai decks in Modern playing this with Confounding Conundrum, and also if they're not playing that, it's against decks that don't have a lot of basic lands. So the 3 colour decks, the 4 colour decks, so not a lot of them have these sorts of lands, and it's fairly good. It's worst case scenario you cycle. Tajeru Snarecaster, 3 mana 1/4 reach rogue, not exciting. Deadly Alliance, it's their 5 mana kill spell in black that does something. So in this instance it costs 1 less for having a party. Sometimes it drains and gains, sometimes it has make a food or whatever. Moss Pit Skeleton, black green 2/2, kicker 3. If it was kicked, enters the battlefield 3/1, so it could be a 5 mana 5/5. Whenever 1 or more counters are put on a creature you control, if this is in your graveyard, you may put it on top of your library. Okay, that's fairly decent, I guess, in limited if you build around it. McKinley Stampede, kind of an anthem effect, but only for the turn. But alternatively, can be a land if you want it to be. Foil Island, gotta love the islands. Ooh, Zareth San the Trickster. So I've been playing a lot of rogues in standard, and this card is super good. So for anyone who doesn't know what it does, it's a 5-mana flash 4/4, but it has kind of rogue jitsu, so it's like ninjutsu except for rogues. So 2 blue black, return an unblocked attacking rogue you control to its owner's hand, put this onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and then when it deals combat damage to a player, you may put target permanent card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So if you're playing rogue, the whole point is you kind of meant to mill your opponent. So if you mill your opponent, you can find some juicy targets. I've found a lot of people's lands are a good one to put into play, just to kind of give you more options later on. Putting an Omnath into play obviously is great. So yeah, Zarasan, really exciting. Ooh, Zarasan the Trickster in foil. Obviously I've just described what it does. Pretty good to have a foil one after an alternate art one. Ooh, Akum Hellhounds. Like I say, I've said I like this. It is a not a foil one, but still nice alternate art one. Dreadworm, alternate art, not foil. Skyclave Shade. So this is 2 mana, 3/1. Kicker 2 in a black. It can't block, but it enters the battlefield with 2/1/1 counters if it was kicked. And landfall, you can cast this from your graveyard. So it's very good at recursion. I think it sees some play in Dredge. But yeah, seems pretty good. Then we have a foil Akum Hellhounds, which is pretty nice. Yeah, and then what we got left. This is, I don't know what this is. This is a Verazol the Split Current. X green blue enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each mana spent to cast it. Whenever you cast a kick spell, you may remove 2 +1/+1 counters from it. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for it, and then Angel Insect. This seems pretty good in a kicker deck, but I think it probably you need to play it in Commander, or I haven't seen a lot of this in Standard. Probably because the format is basically Omnath.deck, but or Rogues, but. Right, down to 2 packs. Are we going to miss on extra expeditions? I've seen maximum of 6. Obviously, it's not looking like we're going to get 6, given that we only have 2 packs left, but you never know. Seafloor Stalker has 4 in a blue, +1/+0, and can't be blocked until end of turn. Costs 1 less for each creature in your party. So it costs 4 mana most times because it's a rogue itself. Resolute Strike seems pretty good. Good combat trick. Kazandu Stomper, really good in like a landfall deck because you get to bring your lands back, and if you have lands that are spells on the other side, you get to pick up, draw 2 spells from that you've already played. So that seems really good in limited. Ghastly Gloom Hunter, I really like this in limited as a beta. 2 mana 1/1 flying and lifelink, and you can make it 3/3 for 6. So it's a good raise dead target later on in the game. Tuk Rubble Fort. So this is I've been playing this in Historic. There's a kind of go infinite deck. So you basically dual cast a mage, a Neoform. You go and get all the dual caster mage out of your deck and Glasspool Mimics, and then you go and get this at the end, and then all your creatures have got haste, so you just attack your opponent for a whole bunch. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Relic Amulet seems good in a kind of wizard deck or maybe a control deck. Yeah. Fireblade Charger. Equipped gives it haste, and when it dies, deals damage equal to its power to any target. Is in a red 1/1. Pretty good. Plains, and then a Tabarok's Hope's Demise. So not foil, but still 3 mana 2/2. Flying, when it has lifelink, if it has 5 or more +1/+1 counters on it, and whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. If it was a cleric, you may draw a card. If you do, lose a life. Seems pretty good in obviously a cleric deck. Yeah. Foil, Forsaken Monument, Mythic. It's very, very nice. Canopy Baloth. Skyclave Pickaxe. Come on. Ooh, Felidar Retreat. Still pretty good card. Seeing a lot of play in the ramp decks, obviously, is really good. If you don't know what it does, it's a 4 mana enchantment with landfall. When it enters the battlefield, you can make a 2/2 white cat beast creature token, or you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and they get vigilance until end of turn. So it's really good if you're playing like Evolving Wilds and Fable Passage. Basically, the Omnath deck loves this. Now, the early iterations of the Omnath deck are either playing this or Terror of the Peaks, but now that Uro is gone, I wouldn't be surprised if they all revert back to Felidar Retreat. Skyclave Squid. Nothing too exciting. Then, Scourge of the Skyclaves. So this is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a 2 mana XX kicker 5. When you cast this spell, if it was kicked, your opponent loses half their life, rounded up. So obviously, could be 10, could be 20, depending on what you're playing. Its power and toughness are equal to 20 minus the highest life total amongst players. So obviously, a lot of people have thought this is probably really good in Death Shadow builds because you want to make your life total less, and you can bolt your opponent, and it's a 3/3. So if you're playing modern, then your opponent could be fetching and shocking. Again, puts them down even further. Seems pretty good. And then last but not least, we have Cat Beast Copy. So still pretty good. Still missing that expedition. Looking increasingly likely that I am one of these 11%. So that would be sad, but we're still open some sweet boosters, and I've had fun doing this. So I'm just gonna have a quick drink. All right. So. An Electromancer. This 3 mana is always really good, and I think in limited this is really good. I don't think it's got a place in the standard, but 3 mana 3/2 that you get a red for each member of your party. Worst case scenario, you get a red back. So if you have anything to do with that red mana, great. If you don't have anything to do with it, then it doesn't really matter. You've got a 3 mana 3/2. But I've played this in a couple of aggro decks, like a warrior deck. It's still fairly aggressively costed. So you can play it on 3, and then if you've got like a warrior already, you can then play another 2-drop. So fairly good in the aggressive strategies. Deliberate, love to draw a card. Jogger Visionary, love to draw a card. Seagate Banneret, good kind of pump in the late game, especially for warriors when you kind of dumped your hand. Scale the Heights, basically kind of like a mini Uro-wish. So you get to draw a card, put a land onto the battlefield, you gain 2 life, and you get to make a creature bigger. Journey to Oblivion, seen this one before. It's basically Oblivion Ring plus cost reduction for party members. Balaged Recovery, foil, very nice. Flips, and it's just a irregular coming to play tap land, makes it green. Making it green, again, forest. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild, 5 mana, XX, mythic, full art. Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. So it's fairly large. I think this is probably a commander card, but again, I don't play a lot, so I wouldn't really know. But yeah. Another Tabarax, this time not extended art. McKindy Ox, not seen one of them in a while. Territorial Scythecat. Clear Water Pathway. So this one's the dimmer one that I'll be playing in Rogues. So makes a blue, other side makes a black. So I'm gonna flip it and show the back side. So just in case there is the chance that we do have an expedition. I don't know if it's. Hopefully it's in one of the next 2 slots. So what do we have? Kazandu Nectapod. So that's not exciting. So let's pull it up from the bottom, see what it is. Doesn't look like it, because there's a creature, there's a box, which is sad. Looks like it is going to be the, I think this is the buy box promo? Aura Skyclave Hierophant. So 4 mana, 3/3, lifelink. When this or another cleric dies, return target cleric with lesser CMC from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it could be good in a kind of sacrifice deck where you could, go down the chain of sacrifice a 3 to get a 2 to get a 1, and then if you can play like another 3, if you can maybe generate any mana and play those cards again, it seems fairly good. And then last but not least, a illusion insect. So we didn't get any additional expeditions, but that's fine. Still had fun opening all them. Still pretty good for a first collector's booster thing. I think. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I have no nothing to compare it against, but yeah. Right, so let's open these Zendikar Rising Expedition box toppers. I'm going to be very careful with these because some of the expensive ones can be fairly expensive. That was the point. So there we go. There's one, and then let's open this other one. Keep you in suspense. Okay, so gonna let you take your pick. Which one you think is gonna be more expensive? I'm gonna go with this one. So I'll do this one second. So this one, it is a Spire Garden. So it's one of the commander lands. Probably, I don't think these ones are very expensive. I think they're only about a tenner, something like that. So that's a Spire Garden. So looking good that this one's more expensive. Let's have a look. Morphic Pool. So again, one of the commander ones. So yeah, I think this one's actually more expensive because blue black sees more play. So yeah, so that is the collector boosters. Now I am just going to, sorry for the camera movement, but I'm just trying to change the thing just so we can see some of the exciting things that we've pulled. So let's get these lands out first. Like the lands. At least the full out lands. There we go. So we got the Dimir one. We got 2 of the Selesnya one. Then we got the Boros one and the Orzhov one. Let us have a look at our mythics. We got the Shaskal Smashing, the Nahiri, Morag, Forsaken Monument, Omnath. I think there was another Forsaken Monument that was just foil, right? Or am I going mad? I thought there was another one. Have I? Oh no. Am I going mad? Maybe I'm going mad. If I can't find it, then whatever. But maybe I put it in the wrong pile. Maybe it's slid off. But anyway, let's have a look at these mythics. See what the cool mythics are. Omnath, obviously everyone loves. Loves and hates. Forsaken Monument, Morag, Nahiri, Shatterskull Smashing, Aisha, and Taprox is not mythic. Not a good, not too exciting. What's our, so let's have a look at our foil extended arts that we got. So Aura, Verazol, where's our foil ones? Maul of the Skyclaves, Crawling Barons, Relic Robber, Throne of Makindi, Hagra, Nimble Trap Finder, Skyclave Apparition, and that's it. And then let's have a look at our alternate art ones. Lotus Cobra, Phylath. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but it is what it is. So we had the Valka Exploration, the Phylath, the Lotus Cobra, the Skyclave Shade, and then last but not least, let's have a look at our extended arts. The rest just regular foils, so nothing too exciting, but so let's just see if we can fit these on the screen. So the Hagramolin, the Murder, Confounding Conundrum, the Bounce, Linvala, Shadow's Verdict, Crag Plate Baloth, or keyword dot card, Legion Angel, Myriad Construct, Inscription of Insight, and then Sareth San. And then our rest is kind of just regular foils, nothing too exciting. So yeah, I feel like we've had a pretty well, it's been an exciting box to open. At least I think it's been exciting to open. I could be completely wrong, and this is there's the Forsaken. I knew there was a Forsaken Monument. Oh, and there's a Tabarax. Oh, I've got things all over the place that I've just not even realised. Oh, I'm having a nightmare here. Put that one in there. Yeah. So I think it's been fairly exciting to open. I've enjoyed it, and like I say, I'm probably gonna do one of these at every set opening. So I guess look out for me opening more packs in the future. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.